Although the Army is known for its rigid discipline and seriousness, things do not always go as planned. Many times, recruits or soldiers find themselves in hilarious and completely out of the ordinary situations, proving that even in the armed forces, the unexpected can happen. From training mistakes to unusual scenes that seem straight out of a comedy, these moments, despite being tense, can bring good laughs. And that is exactly what we will check out here today. Two soldiers got themselves into a huge mess while trying to launch a missile that failed miserably in front of the entire army. In the video, recorded by a colleague, the two soldiers appear preparing the missile launcher, loading the ammunition, and getting ready to fire at the intended target. However, when activating the shot, something goes wrong. The missile is not launched properly and falls right in front of them, causing huge panic among everyone present who feared a possible explosion. The video ends before we can see the outcome, but according to rumors, the missile did not explode, and everyone escaped unharmed, despite the scare. The scene, which was filmed, quickly went viral, and despite the enormous scare the soldiers experienced, the incident also became a source of jokes among internet users, who laughed at the embarrassing situation in which, instead of a powerful launch, the missile dropped in an unexpected and frustrating way. Members of the Navy in Brazil caught a recruit who, exhausted from arduous work and intense training, fell asleep sitting down and became the target of jokes. In the footage, which was probably made by his superiors, the recruit is seen completely knocked out on a bench, mouth wide open. To tease him, the superiors placed 2 pencils in his mouth, showing that even then he would not wake up. Even with the objects in his mouth, the recruit kept sleeping. One of the superiors started calling his name, but he remained in a deep sleep, only waking up when water was poured on his head. Annoyed by the recruit's deep sleep during his shift, the superior asked a colleague to bring a bottle of water and pour it on the sleepyhead's head. Finally, the recruit woke up, confused and not understanding anything. Immediately after waking up, his superior ordered 20 push-ups as punishment. Still somewhat disoriented, the recruit took a moment to grasp the situation, but eventually followed the order and did the push-ups. During a training session with candidates for the military police in Brazil, a woman needed to throw a grenade into a specific area. However, things did not go as planned. While preparing for the throw, she received instructions from an officer, while the rest of the troop watched from a distance. When she tried to throw the grenade, she did not release it at the right moment, swung her arm around, and ended up throwing it backward into the middle of the troop, causing true panic. As soon as they realized the grenade had been tossed in that direction, everyone stood up and ran off. A few seconds later, the grenade exploded, but fortunately no one was hit. The mistake was huge, since she should have thrown the grenade forward, but lacking coordination, she managed to throw it backward, causing a big scare. Fortunately, no one was injured, but it was a close call. It is likely that she did not pass this selection stage to become an officer, since she could have put her colleagues' lives in danger. An iconic scene recorded during a parachute training in the Army went viral on the internet, causing a lot of laughter and even pity for the fearful soldier. In the training, the instructor and the soldier in training were inside a raised cabin, simulating a jump from an aircraft. The soldier was attached to a steel cable, as if it were a zip line, ensuring his safety while he was supposed to simply leap to practice the correct technique. However, this soldier, displaying a great fear of heights, could not push himself off, and that really annoyed the instructor. The soldier even tried, but whenever he reached the edge to jump, his fear paralyzed him, stopping him from going ahead. The instructor tried to encourage him, suggesting that he just walk and throw himself forward without worrying about technique so he could overcome his fear, but it was no use. At the end of a day in the Army, a superior presented a roulette to the battalion, offering several benefits. One of the most coveted prizes was a day off, strategically placed at the top of the roulette. Thus, when the pointer was spun, the laws of physics made it almost impossible for it to land on the day off. One of the soldiers then approached the roulette, and with a chorus of colleagues asking for that day off, spun the pointer in the hope that, somehow, it would land there. To everyone's surprise and delight, it unbelievably stopped on the day off, causing the soldiers to celebrate as if they had scored a goal. One of the soldiers filmed the moment, incredulous at what was happening. Many could not understand how the pointer managed to stop there, seeming almost like a rigged trick. However, what really happened was that the pointer got stuck on a nail that secured the roulette at the top, exactly where "day off" was written. The force the soldier applied was so precise that the pointer managed to balance on the nail, resulting in huge luck. Yet again, a soldier in training, this time in artillery, was taken by his instructor to practice in the middle of a forest, where he would learn to hold a firearm and shoot accurately. However, the instructor probably did not expect the trouble he would face with this soldier. As soon as they arrived at the firing location, the soldier started doing everything wrong. He positioned his hands improperly and did not align himself correctly. Of course, this greatly irritated the instructor, who began to call him out quite firmly. Finally, after a few corrections, the soldier managed to position himself properly and got permission to shoot. At that moment, when everything seemed to be going well, the situation took an unexpected turn. As he fired several shots, he could not handle the weapon's recoil and ended up falling backward. The instructor, visibly frustrated, even told the soldier to go to his lieutenant and ask to quit.
Por favor, faz favor pra mim. Chega lá e pede o tenente pro senhor ir embora. Tá? No, sir.
Despite the humiliation and embarrassment that are part of the training, the soldier refused to give up and stated that he wanted to continue. At least he showed willingness, even though his weapon handling skills still left much to be desired. This time, in a rappelling exercise, the soldier seems to have completely misunderstood the instructions given, and in this way, besides almost hurting himself, he made the instructors furious. Since it was a rappel, he should have descended calmly with his feet against the wall to practice the technique, but instead, he simply threw himself off and was left hanging by the rope. The moment he jumped, one of the instructors even got scared and did not understand anything. After all, that was not what he was supposed to do. Fortunately, and by sheer luck, he ended up hanging by the rope and did not crash into anything. But of course, the scene generated mockery and teasing from everyone, with the instructors making it clear that he lacked intelligence, though in a much harsher tone than that.
Ai, morreu!
Tira a mão!
Animal!
Tira a mão daí!
Burrão!
Since he was supposed to descend backwards, he jumped that way and ended up hanging upside down, certainly feeling very scared. During an army training session in an open field, the soldiers were camping and using portable toilets available on site. It was exactly while using one of these toilets that a soldier became the victim of a mean prank by his friends. While he was inside the bathroom, two soldiers approached, while a third was filming the scene. After waiting briefly, they moved forward, pushing the bathroom and tipping it over on its side. When it fell, the door opened, and the soldier crawled out, pants down, and completely covered in filth. Although the situation was not funny at all for him, his colleagues burst out laughing. When the bathroom tipped over, the container holding the waste spilled, covering the soldier with excrement and urine, which was extremely unpleasant, and obviously the smell was not the best. During a training in the middle of the forest, a rope was placed over a lake so the soldiers could cross it, requiring balance and concentration. However, soldier number 14 did not seem very steady and became the target of jokes from the rest. When he started crossing, he seemed to be doing well, but upon reaching the middle of the rope, his balance disappeared, and he began swaying wildly like a rag doll. The other soldiers in turn teased him and tried to help, but that only seemed to make things worse, as he kept on swinging endlessly. Many commented that the wind in that area was the cause of his imbalance.
Vento! Abre o braço, 14! Abre o braço! Isso, 14! Excelente!
After several attempts, he finally seemed to regain some stability and managed to hold on to the rope. The video ends without showing the outcome of the exercise, but while it was being recorded, despite all the swinging, he did not fall, and in the end, apparently succeeded in focusing enough to pull through. During a shift inside the barracks, a superior caught a recruit sleeping soundly when he should have been standing guard over the area. Noticing the situation, he approached, started filming, and showed the recruit sprawled on the ground. He waited a few seconds before calling him, referring to him as on duty. The recruit took a while to wake up, but upon hearing the superior's loud voice, he woke up suddenly, not understanding what was going on. Still groggy from sleep, he looked around while his superior called him out.
Roda plantão, não tá na hora. Tá atorando na hora, plantão. Hã? Não tá na hora? Não tá na hora?
Trying to explain himself, the recruit claimed he had sat down to look for something, but, as we can see, ended up dozing off. If the place depended on him for security, they would certainly be in trouble, since the enemy would find a sleeping soldier and would not need much effort to break in. Yet again, during a training session, a recruit managed to get the instructor really riled up by not knowing the correct position he should take with his firearm. The video starts with the instructor guiding the recruit, demonstrating the entire technique needed to move, crouching, and stay concealed. Then, they reach the point where the recruit must get into position, and the instructor warns that the position must be indicated according to clock pointers. However, the recruit does not seem to understand very well how clock positions work, and every time the instructor mentions a particular time, he points to the wrong place, irritating the instructor more and more with his lack of knowledge.
Vai, 7 horas! Vai, 7 horas! Vai, 7 horas, cara! Vai, 7 horas é pra lá, animal!
As is often the case in army or police training, you have to work under pressure, with swearing, and many times, humiliation. It is all part of preparing the recruit for hostile situations. The instructor stays close to the recruit's ear, yelling and insulting him, until he gets the position right. Despite the tension for the recruit, the scene becomes funny due to his mistakes and the instructor's comical outbursts. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.